Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to learn how can we scrap paginated website using List.Generate, and I was planning to record a video on the basic of List.Generate, but after I watch this video I think it's better if you watch this video and that will do the basic part. Only few parts I want to explain on this video, and then we'll move on this part on how can we scrap this type of website when we have multiple pages like this and we don't know the end pages, like you may have 100 pages or you may have 200 pages and so on. And real example for this is like stock trading. So every day you get data for stock trading and you don't want to change your code because every day they add a new page. So you want to build something that can work for a very long time when it is keeping the organization like this, that every day they will add a page. So that's the final goal. So I'm going to explain a little bit about this one. Let me find that this one. So let me just copy that and let me open Power Query, blank query. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so we get that List.Generate, and basically what I want to show you that not this actually, you can just keep that this is 0, let's say 1, and each x is less than 1, let's say okay. So I'm just keeping this way, and ideally what I want to explain is that we have a record like this one, okay, and so this is the initial value, and every value, not only the initial value, not only the generated value, every value will go through this condition. Okay, so it will validate initial value as well as newly generated value, and based on this validation, if it's passed, then it will be included in the list. Okay, so initially you can see x is 0, y is 1, and then when it's checked that x is less than or equals 7, so that's true, then it will, so I can just get rid of this, that will, okay, so you get a record like this and x7, so it goes up to x7. Okay, and you can see initially it was 0, and for the next time I'm saying that okay, x is going to be x plus 1. So here are a couple of things that I want to clarify. First thing is that every value will be validated based on this condition, so initial value as well as newly generated values, and if the condition match, then it will add that. Okay, so let's suppose x is 7. Okay, so the next value will be x plus 1, that is 8, and this will be like whatever value is that, and when it's checked that condition that okay, x is 8, then less than or equals 7 is not true, then that 8 value is not included here. Okay, so that is the first thing, that every value will be validated based on this second condition, including initial value. So let's suppose if I just say okay, this is 8, so this will give me a blank list. Okay, if I say 7, this will give me only one item record. Okay, 7 and y is 1. So every value including initial will be validated based on the second condition or second function, that is this one. The second important topic I want to clarify is that when we say this third parent and the next, so when we are looking into this record, okay, so like like this one, record failed, then this x is not equals to this x. Okay, that means let's suppose consider this, that x is initially 1, right? So we get to here and then we see that okay, x is 1, so we add 1, so now x became 2, but this x is still 1. This is not true. Okay, and you can see that second record that x is 2, okay, because after adding 1 we get 2. Okay, but y is still x is 1 plus, and y was initially 1, that is 2, so that's why it's 2. So that is the next thing that I want to clarify, that this record failed is still referring to the old one. So we are using a shorthand like each. So instead of each we could just say old rec. Okay, and then we can just say okay, this x equals to going to be my old rec. So old record of and this. Now this will make it more clear. Okay, so this x is basically based on the old record or previous record. This is not newly added output X. Okay, so that is the second thing that I want to clarify. So let's move on into this part. Okay, that how can we scrap this kind of website. So I'll just go into the first page and just copy this one, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a new query, web type, put the URL, and it will scrap that page, okay, that table. So let's see, so we get table 1, that is this one. We get table 2, that's not the actual one. So we want only the table 1, right? So I will just click on that, and it will generate this kind of code, okay, to select properly each of those table. Okay, and I can just do like, transform first row as a header. So you get the header. So we clean up this process, and I'm going to just convert this a function by just changing this URL part. Okay, so URL is going to be this one, URL. Now still it will work as a procedure, but I am going to change that as function now. It will return me a table. Okay, and I can just make this to URL2. Okay, so we get this one. Now let's try to invoke that for a random pages. So let's say 14. So if I just use that, and you can see that I get data for page 14. Okay, now I want to change this for the last one. So if I go into this 23, and if I use 23, then I get this data. But if I just use, let's say, page number 24, so what do we get? So let me just copy that one, and this is a blank table, right? So now I'm just going to change this URL to page 24, and you can see this table is empty. So that is my criteria, that is my condition, that we need to generate list of tables until we have a blank table. Okay, so that is my criteria or condition for the list.generate, the second argument. So first thing, that we need to build a function that is for one pages or one URL, and then we need to build a condition to check when it's done, and that is for the maximum pages. You can just put some random number, like, instead of page 24, you can put like 100 and so on. Still we get this table header, but there is no data. So that is the condition, that the table is empty. So let's try to do that using list.generate. So I'm going to use list.generate, and the initial function, that is going to be, I don't know how much I need to go, right? So I'm going to build a record, and that record will be page number, and that page number is going to be initially 1, and then that is table, let's suppose. Okay, and then we can just get table, fx get table, and then I'm going to put that URL, right, and that is going to be so that is going to be initially 1 actually, so I could just say 1, right? So that is my initial condition. Now the next one is this condition, right? And then each, what we need to do is that that particular table property is empty, right? So table is empty, right? So table dot is empty, and that is going to be that table, right? And now we need a note, and then third one is going to be each. Now what we need to do, this page number will be my previous page number plus 1, right? And then table will be this one, except that this part will be text.from. so this means old page number, right? So that's why I'm going to add +1 to get my new page number, and then this. And look at this now, it's running through each of them, and then it will build that list of tables. So give it some time because I think it's loading all of these pages. So let's see. Okay, so we get the data, and you can see we have 23 pages, right? Like this. And we could use the last selector parameter, but this will call that API again. But let me show you that, and I'll put that part out of this video. I'll just show the final out. So each, we can just say, okay, I just need that table. Okay, and that's it. Yeah, so you can see we get this 23 table exactly, and we don't know that how many pages will be there. Okay, so you can scrap as many pages as you want, and you don't need to worry about page number changes. And you can see we get all the data. Now you could just use table.combine, and this expect a list of tables. So that is it, and this brings all the data from those 23 pages. And let me get rid of this one. So I hope you understand this code, and this is the main code of this tutorial. Okay, so we have a record, okay, and starting with page number 1, then we are just pulling for page 1, and then we are doing that, do this procedure until this table is empty, right? Or while this table is not empty, keep this procedure doing. Then we are just incrementing page number by 1, and then we are extracting the table for that particular page, and keep doing that. Okay, and then at the end we are just selecting that table and ignoring that page number. We could keep that page number as well, and then do that procedure later on, but we're doing this at one go. And then we're just combining those tables using table.combine, and that's it. And this is beautifully done. This List.Generate is super powerful function and super helpful in case you don't know how much you need to generate. We could generate like a list of page number using like just shorthand like curly braces 1 ... and 23. Then it will give me 23 number list, and we can just call that for each of these. But sometimes we don't know that how far we need to go, and in that case List.Generate is really helpful. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any question or suggestion. Have a good day.